What's up everybody, Justin here and welcome back to the channel. It's time. I figure with the weather forecast the way it is that we might get lucky. It's looking promising that we might get some main lake ice out here on Lake St. Clair. So I figured today would be a good starting point because this will be the last day that the high goes just above freezing for about 2 weeks. So we have a good chance of making some ice, definitely in the canals, but let's take a tour around the lake and we'll see what we see. So our first stop, like always, is the Crocker boat launch. And next to the Crocker boat launch, we have the spillway. I drove over that. The center part of the spillway has zero ice on it, but upstream from that on the Clinton River is totally frozen. So I have high hopes that the spillway will cover up with ice here really shortly. But the little ponds and offshoots on the side of the spillway, those are totally skimmed over. So that's good. There's not a ton of ducks or geese in the area to hold that open. So fingers crossed they don't show up and that will freeze over really, really fast. We've had pretty steady west winds for the last couple days. So it's been decent for making ice. Just we got a main lake water temp is just a little high, I think, right now. And as you can see in the drone footage, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the drone back up after this flight because the wind is crazy, crazy strong. Almost couldn't get the little guy back. But as you can see inside the Beacons Cove Marina, it's about halfway froze over around the poles. There's some skim and slush from the water moving in and out with the wind. But for the most part, it looks like you got a pretty good start inside there. So you guys that have access to Beacons Cove to ice fish, keep an eye on that. Probably in the next week or so, you might be able to get in there and get on some perch and some crappie that were in there. I talked to a buddy that actually stores a boat there, and he got into a lot of crappie in the fall and some walleye out front there, so maybe they're still around. So let's head on over to the next location. So at my next stop on the tour that I take every time I do one of these ice reports, we are at the day sail, and as you can hear, we have some waves being at the shoreline. The wind is actually shifted out of more of a southerly direction, so it's blowing into the bay. So this is not gonna freeze with this wind, but when I look really, really close at the water, I do see some slush building. So that is good. The surface temps have started to come down. I know there's been some guys out in boats absolutely pounding some big walleye, and that has been awesome to see. But we all want to get back out on the ice, so we need to get a little bit colder. So hopefully the forecast gets a little bit more promising and we start to see that temp drop a little more. So let's head on over to the other part of the Metro Park here and let's see how the back basin is doing. So as you can see here in the drone footage, it looks like a few people went out on the ice in the back basin. Got a couple snow angels. The ice back in the marsh is actually looking really bad compared to what it normally does. So there has to be a lot of waterfowl using that marsh at night to keep that open like that. I was gonna head over to Sulphurage, but there was a head-on collision down the road and I cannot get down to the boat launch. So hopefully everybody's okay there. But there was a CO there and he's like, yeah, I can't let you down there because where the accident was the bend just before going into Harley Ensign. So that kind of sucks a little bit. But so now I'm heading over to Sulphurage and I'm driving along the Clinton River right now, and there is a lot of ice on the river. And this ice basically goes from roughly where Harley boat launch is all the way upstream, all the way in the downtown Mount Clemens. So we got a good start of ice on the river. There was a few people fishing the docks and some little cuts there, the CO told me. So, but let's head on over to Sulphurage and see if the rumor is true, what I heard. So over here at the Sulphurage boat ramp, as you can see, there is just a sliver of, according to the guys that are on the ice, walkable ice inside the basin here at the boat launch. Out in front, wide open, absolutely a ton of diving ducks flying around. I love waterfowl hunting. It's been a few years since I've gotten to do it, and I plan on going a lot this next fall. Everything goes as planned. And just watching all these birds work is absolutely magical. If you're not a duck hunter, probably don't have the same sentiment, but this is really cool. There's probably, I don't know, 500,000 birds, give or take, out here in Anchor Bay working that I can see. Looks like there's some really big rafts way out deep where they feed. Up tight here, the boat launch. Looks like mostly canvasbacks and some bluebill mixed in, a couple buffies. I see a couple golden eyes kind of off on their own, but this is just, I love seeing all the waterfowl like this. It's really, really cool. But just watch them fly around. Oh, here comes another flyby. Check that out. That is so cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. So we're gonna head up around to the north end of the lake. Normally I would stop at Brandenburg, but Brandenburg is actually closed right now because they're doing some habitat and shoreline projects right there at the park. It's a pretty cool project. I'll try to find a link to it and put it down in the description for you guys. You guys want to read up on it, but if I don't find it, just Google it. You should be able to find it fairly easy. It's kind of a big deal that I think will be a catalyst for even more shoreline habitat restoration here on the U.S. side of Lake St. Clair, which we do need a lot of. All these metal break walls and that just have really changed how this lake flows and acts, and I think it's a good thing. So let's head on up to the north end of the lake and take a look at what we can see up there. And I also forgot to mention that back behind SDI 2, they're actually on some ice. The guys at the shop said they're about 2.5, 3 inches. So they got some. There's a few guys out there fishing. Not sure how they're doing. But yeah, so we've got some ice the guys are venturing out onto, regardless of what I might think is safe, but they think is safe, so it's up to them. So as always, guys, make sure you do check the ice before you go out on it. So we're gonna head up to the north end of the lake next. Well, up here at the raft, and for the first time as long as I can remember, the raft is not where people got on the ice first. The marina off to the side does have some skim ice, but it's private, so without the access that's afforded to us here at the Raft Bar, you cannot get in there. And the wind is blowing directly into this little bay, this little cove that normally ices up really good. So yeah, hoping and praying that the forecast that I seen holds true. Today is the last day that we see that gets above freezing, if it even gets there, and we get some calm nights and we start to form some nice base, some nice skim out here on the main lake. So that is the ice report for Lake St. Clair, guys. It's not great, but we have a good start in a few areas. We have some things to be hopeful for, but if you're not wanting to wait for the ice down here, do head up north to the Houghton, Mitchell, Cadillac range up there in northern Michigan. They're on ice. I know there's a few little bodies of water out in Oakland County that people have been able to get out on, and over in the southwest part and the western half of the lower as well. There is some small bodies of water that people have been able to get onto. So if you made it this long in the video, thank you very much. And if you're not subscribed, click down below, hit that red subscribe button and ding the notification bell. And really important, if you're not subscribed, you need to become subscribed, because I'm getting closer to 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. And I promised over a year ago that I would do a massive giveaway for that, and I am not going to disappoint you guys. Most of you probably forgot about that promise, but I did not. So if we get to 10,000, I will give one of you lucky subscribers a really, really nice care package of fishing tackles. So as always, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. Tight lines, happy casting. We'll see you in the next video.